Hi everyone, welcome to Bumblebee and Common Sense Economics. My name is Jiju. Bumblebee is an organization started with the very purpose of addressing the learning and development requirements of the corporates, MSMEs, professionals, investors, students who are doing advanced studies in economics and management, and the general public. Now this is a new channel. This is called Common Sense Economics. This has a vision of encouraging learning by connecting common sense with aspects like economics, finance, and behavioral sciences. Now you all know that this is an era of information. Lot of information available on our fingertips. There is an information god which is called Google. You can type anything, you will get any information. There are other information sources as well. Abundance of information. But the question is, are we actually using this information? Or are we actually exploring the true benefit of this information by applying these in our daily lives? The answer may be no. Mostly no. I can give you an example. Now there is a statement. You just think about this statement. Monsoon can affect or impact the bank interest rate. How do you look at this statement, or what is the connect of monsoon and bank interest rate? Let us find out. Now you can see that in the economic perspective, if you look, monsoon is always good. Normal monsoon is always good for the economy because the agricultural yield will be the same as expected. But if the monsoon is more or less, that will negatively impact the agricultural production. But if you look at the current pouring pattern of the monsoon or the current monsoon, in the very short span, it has damaged many parts of the country, especially Maharashtra. If you look at in Maharashtra, in the very short span, almost 34,000 hectares of agricultural land was damaged. Now, what is so special about Maharashtra? Because Maharashtra is known as the onion belt of India. So, if something happens to the agricultural field in Maharashtra, onion prices will rise. In the last October, due to heavy rainfall, onion prices increased 46%. Potato increased 51%. So likewise other vegetables also. So this can happen again. But along with this, there are supply chain disruptions. What is supply chain then? Now supply chain is nothing but the method of moving goods from the producer or the supplier to the end user or consumer. Precisely, it is the mode of transportation or the way of getting connected with producer and the consumer. Now, if the supply chain is disrupted, there will be delay in supply. If there is delay in supply, the cost will be increased. Now, how cost will be increased? Because if the trucks that carry vegetables stuck in rain, there may be damaged vegetables in transit. Now, if a major portion of the supply is damaged like this, then it cannot meet the demand in the market. Then the price will be increased. If both these conditions are there, generally the price of vegetable may increase. So if the price of vegetable increases, then the food price in general will increase. If the food price increase, then there will be general price hike in the economy. Now the general price hike in the economy is called inflation. So what is inflation and what is the impact of inflation, everything? We have a separate discussion on this in the later part of this series. Now let us park this aside. Now just understand that inflation is nothing but the general price hike in the economy. Okay. So now how it is connected with the bank interest rates? We all know that Reserve Bank of India controls and manages interest rate in Indian economy. RBI has a tool for doing that. That is called Reporate. Now you may think that things are getting complicated now. What is Reporate? It is a technical term. Don't worry, what is Reporate and the technical details of it, we will surely crack it in the upcoming videos. Now we will just understand how Reporates work in simple way. We already discussed about inflation. This inflation and Reporate are connected. How it is connected? If the inflation is high in the economy, then repo rates will be high and bank interest rate also will be high. If the inflation is less in the economy, repo rates will be less and bank interest rate also will be less. This is the connect. This is how it works. Now there is something called Monetary Policy Committee Review of RBI that happens in every 2 months. What they do, they analyze the current level of inflation and what is the trend of inflation in the economy, and based on that they decide the repo rate. If you look at the current inflation, that is well below the expected level. RBI is expecting 4% inflation this financial year. Now if you look at the current data, latest data, the inflation is 3.16% already. So this is positive. I am talking about retail inflation. A low inflation is always good for the economy. So if the logical connect between inflation and repo rate is true, then repo rate has to come down. That is what we have witnessed. RBI has cut down the interest rate or repo rate from 6.5% to 6% in 2025 in 2 phases, first in February and second in April. So now current repo rate is 6%. Since the inflation is well below the expected level, many economists feel that there will be a further rate cut. They are expecting repo rate to be 5.75%, a 25 basis point cut more. This is the positive side of it. Now what is the threat? The threat we have already discussed. The erratic pattern of monsoon. The pouring pattern of monsoon is not the same as it was a decade ago. Totally changed. There will be sudden cloud burst. There will be sudden stop. This may affect agriculture production. If the agriculture production is affected, then it may push the inflation up. If this happens, RBI may think twice on rate cut. This is just a possibility. Now don't worry, the things are better now. Weather condition is better. The downpour of monsoon has subsided. Things are coming back to normal. And the damage to economy is limited. Now things are positive. So we are expecting a rate cut. Now let us keep our fingers crossed, because a low repo rate means less interest on borrowings or loans. Loans will become cheaper. Now I like this. I hope you will also like this. Anyway, this is the connect between monsoon and bank interest rate. And this is the way we need to connect all information. Just getting the information is not sufficient. When we keep a logical sequencing of information, then only you will get a meaningful information. And if you get a meaningful information, you can apply that in your personal life, and you can predict what is going to happen in the society or economy, and you can be prepared. Now, why I have selected a topic called common sense economics? The topic itself is not common, right? So there are multiple reasons. One reason is this: from the raw information, you can create meaningful information, and that can be applied in our daily lives. Second thing is that I personally believe that economics and finance play a very vital role in everyone's life. It has got a direct impact on human behavior. Now you may think that how economics and human behavior is connected, quite strange, isn't it? Then there is a connect. I can give you an example. If you analyze the crime rates across the world, you can see that crime rates are showing an increasing trend in the areas or regions or countries where there is economic instability. For example, you take the case of Papua New Guinea, a small country. The population is also very less. But 40% of its population is living below extreme poverty line. That shows that there is huge income inequality there. And that is why crime rates are more. Another country, Afghanistan, if you take that, things are not different. There is huge income inequality. Economic growth is also less. And crime rates are more. Now why I have mentioned these two countries? Because these two countries are listed in the top 5 countries based on the crime rates across the world. Now what I am trying to establish here is there is a connect between economic affairs and human behavior, whether it is positive or negative. So many of us fail to understand this. Many of us fail to interpret the information in the way we want. That is because we lack the real life application of the concepts of economics and finance and its direct linkage with human behavior. In fact, economic insight or financial insight forms a greater part of our common sense. It leads us to take proper judgments, and it is a base of everyday decision. If we are able to analyze the information presented before us in a proper way, we will be well informed. The society will be well informed. So business will flourish. Business will understand the market well. Sales and marketing professional can understand their products or services well. Investors can understand what is going to happen for their investment and what is the impact of economic decision on their investment. Students can have a practical version of the theories they learn. And even commoners, they can apply these learnings in their lives and they can feel the change. That is the very purpose of starting this channel. In the next video, we are going to discuss in detail about how economics and finance can be fit into our common sense by using various examples. So keep watching this channel for more information. If you like this video, please press the like button, subscribe and share it with others. And we are keeping our contact information below. You can contact us for any training purpose. If you have any query, please put it in the comment box. We will be able to reply to that. So thank you very much for watching this video. Till the time we meet again, bye bye.